You've probably heard this a million times at work. We want you to speak up, share your ideas. It's supposed to be the secret sauce for innovation, right? But what if I told you that sometimes encouraging people to speak their minds can actually blow up in your face? I mean, it's the golden rule of modern management, isn't it? Empower your team, give them a voice, let them challenge the status quo. And yeah, on paper, that sounds like a foolproof plan for success. But is it really? Because let's be honest, we've all seen it happen. You open the door for what you hope is helpful feedback, and suddenly the floodgates open to nonstop complaining. Instead of game-changing ideas, you just get a tidal wave of negativity that drags everybody down. So what's going on here? Why does this well-intentioned idea go so wrong so often? Well, to get to the bottom of this, we need to dig into some really fascinating research. And what it shows is that not all employee voice is created equal. It turns out how you say something is every bit as important as what you say. Okay, so let's break this down. You've got two main types. Over on the left, there's constructive voice. This is the good stuff, right? It's actionable, it's respectful, and it's all about actually trying to improve things. But then, you've got its evil twin, destructive voice. This is just complaining for the sake of it, bad-mouthing people, and offering criticism that just tears things down. So the real question isn't if people are speaking up, but which of these two voices they're using. So what's the secret ingredient that separates the good kind of feedback from the bad? Well, the research points to a really surprising culprit. It's not about how much power an employee has. It's all about the balance of power between them and their manager. And this all hinges on an idea called power dependence theory. Now, the main takeaway here is that power isn't something you just have. It's not about your job title, it's relational. It's a two-way street that's defined by who needs whom for what. You can think of it like a constant seesaw of mutual need. And you can see that seesaw right here. An employee has power when their manager really depends on their specific expertise or skills. They're the only one who knows how the system works. On the other side, a manager has power because the employee depends on them for things like a good review, a raise, or getting their project approved. It's this back and forth that really dictates how people behave. So let's explore what happens when that seesaw is perfectly balanced. This is the first path, the valued partner path, and trust me, this is where you want to be. The formula for success is actually pretty simple. It happens when you have a high-power employee and a high-power manager. They both need each other. It's a state of mutual dependence. It's not a power struggle. It's a true partnership, where both sides are bringing something essential to the table. And this awesome balance dynamic creates a powerful psychological state called organization-based self-esteem, or OBSE for short. Now, this isn't just generic self-confidence. This is the deep-down feeling that you are a worthy, competent, and valued member of the organization. It's the feeling that you actually matter there. And here's the chain reaction. See, that balanced power dynamic makes you feel secure and important, which boosts your OBS. And when you feel that way, that's when you're motivated to speak up with constructive, helpful ideas. You do it because you feel like a respected partner, and you genuinely want the team to win. But what happens when that power seesaw is totally out of whack? Well, that's when we head down a much darker, much more destructive path, the path of the inflated ego. And here is the recipe for things to go south fast. It's when you have a high-powered employee, your rock star, working for a low-powered manager. The employee knows they're indispensable, but they don't really see their manager as providing much value in return. They feel like they hold all the cards, and that's when it can get ugly. So this kind of power imbalance doesn't build that healthy self-esteem we just talked about. Nope, it fosters something much more toxic: ego inflation. It's that dangerous feeling of, hey, they need me a whole lot more than I need them, and that is a breeding ground for arrogance. So you see the downward spiral here, right? The lopsided power dynamic leads to an inflated ego, which then pours fuel on the fire of destructive voice. When someone feels superior and untouchable, their so-called feedback isn't feedback at all. It just becomes complaining, demeaning comments, and harsh criticism. And listen to this quote from the research, because it absolutely nails it. Once that power becomes unchecked by mutual dependence, people start to see themselves as totally independent and, frankly, superior. That right there, that's the subtle psychological shift that turns a valuable team player into a toxic problem. Okay, so what's the big lesson here?
It's that getting people to speak up constructively isn't just about empowerment. It's about carefully managing power dynamics to create a balanced, interdependent team. So let's get practical. What does this mean for you?
All right, managers, listen up. The goal here isn't to take power away from your people. It's to build up your own power base to create that healthy balance. You need to become the go-to person for resources, for information, for connections to leadership. Make sure that even your biggest star performers know that they need you to succeed. And hey, if you're one of those high-power employees, the rock star on the team, this is for you. The key is self-awareness. You have to recognize that power can absolutely go to your head. Focus on collaboration, not just being right. And remember, no matter how talented you are, burning bridges with destructive criticism will eventually catch up with you. So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. When you look around your own workplace, is power being used to build bridges or to burn them? Take a hard look at the dynamics on your team. Can you spot the difference between a healthy, balanced partnership and an unhealthy, skewed one? The answer might tell you everything you need to know.